Hi guys, welcome back to Battle with Ola. This is Mujola Olu and I'm super thrilled to be here once again. I want to make a second part to the last video that I made on how to keep yourself abreast of law practice, especially if you've been gone for a while in the legal scene, or if you're a new wig, or if you just want to maintain a very excellent and up-to-date legal practice. I remember that I think it was when I went for an SAN's conferment party that a legal luminary, because I'm trying to be sure if the person was a or is a judge, or some other person in law, who said something to the effect that if you leave law for one day, law leaves you for 1 year. So, of course, that's an hyperbole, but they're just trying to say that law is not something that you leave and then for a long while. You need to come back into it. But conversely, too, we have people that have left law for a while and have come back into it and are doing excellently well for themselves. I know that I met an SAN. Not really personal meeting, but she was at a program and she was speaking to us. What's her name again? And she told us how, she, after her call to the bar, I think practicing for a few years, she left Nigeria for a few years, maybe was out of law practice or out of law practice in Nigeria for about 8 years before she came back. And then today she's an SAN. She's one of the foremost SANs in Nigeria. If I remember her name, I'm going to put it on the screen when I'm editing this video. But just trying to say that law is not something you leave for too long. And on the other side, if you leave law for so long and you come back, it doesn't mean that you can't catch up. In fact, you will just not catch up, you will overtake, you can accept. So here are 3 more tips that can help you stay abreast of law practice. The 4th tip, which is the first for this video, is write about law. I know we talked about exercising the law and I talked about how you should infuse it into your daily life, but this one is different. Write about law, that is, actually write opinion pieces on law, write papers, write things about law. That is something that I do very well. And under this post, I'm going to leave a link to my portfolio where you can read most of the things that I've written on law and law practice in Nigeria. I've written papers that are international and papers that are local in their content or their target. So, and I've also written a lot of opinion pieces, blog posts, and what have you. And I write exceptionally well on my social media. In fact, what I do on social media is that I document my law practice. So most times, if you follow me on social media, you would find out that when I'm talking about law, I'm talking about my own personal experiences. What it does is that it helps me to appreciate where I'm coming from, where I am, and where I'm going. There are times when I would go back to read my own post and I wonder, when did I write this, or when did I do this particular thing? So it's very important to write about law. And also I write opinions also on social media. So I might pick an area of law and write what I think about it, or what the law actually says about it, or how it's been interpreted. One other thing I do best is that I talk about judicial precedents. So I pick up a judgment, I read it in total, and then I explain what I think the judge was saying, or what that decision has achieved in the legal scene in Nigeria and the world generally. So you'll find things I've written on labor law. For instance, I talked about Babalola and Equinox. I talked about Bello and EcoBank, just about 3 days ago. 3 days ago, yeah. Someone tweeted at me and said that they were doing some research. That's a senior colleague, by the way, and then they found what I'd written on Bello and EcoBank, which is a labor law decision. I wrote it in 2020. I think it was published on Christmas Eve 2020. I have not forgotten, because I remember exactly where I was when I saw that, when I got a link to the publication, when I think a friend sent me, oh, look at your publication. So that's what I do. There are so many avenues for publishing your thoughts about law. You can publish it on LinkedIn, publish it on Twitter in snippets, publish it on Facebook, on WhatsApp status. That's informal, and we've talked about that in the last video. But I'm even talking about standardized writing now, so to speak, because who decides what's standard and what's not. What I'm trying to say is that you can write it as an academic paper. For an academic paper, we should be talking about for an academic paper, we should be talking about, say, 4,000 words upwards 5,000, 6,000, 10,000 words. You can publish it in a journal. There are so many journals flying around, journals of law student societies, journals of law faculties, journals of law societies. Even the Nigerian Bar Association as a journal, I believe. And then there are branches that also have their own journal. Your workplace might even have a journal, so publish your work there. There are international journals too. You don't necessarily have to be a student, maybe doing an LLM, like going further after your BL and LLB, or doing a PhD in law before you can publish your writings. SSR is a good place to publish, ResearchGate, academia.edu. You find me on all those places. And of course there are some blogs too that have that curate law pieces, law content. I used to work in an organization that did that, so I was managing their content base. So I would curate law content, things that people had written, interview people and all of that, and publish posts. So there are so many of them online. You just go to Google and say, where can I publish my law article in Nigeria? Or put your country, where can I publish my law piece, my opinion piece on an aspect of law, or on law in Nigeria, or today, or in 2022. It will bring you several places. Some journals are paid for. You have to pay because some people are reviewing it, and of course publication costs and all of that. But many journals are free. You will find them, and you can also publish them, on you can open a blog, a personal blog. I have a personal blog. I publish what I like on that blog anyway. But there's a segment that is for opinion pieces, and there's another for opinion, and then there's another segment that's for legal education. That's where I chronicled my law school experience in 5 posts, and that's where I've published some other pieces, some of my copyright, intellectual property posts in general, and some other posts about law. So you can always write about law. Very important. Writing is very important to me. I've been writing since I was a child. I come from academia, so to speak, and I'm very much interested in legal writing, legal publication, because it is very important. Writing, the things you write are preserved forever, except there's a destruction of the platform where you have published it. Writing is a form that never ends, that is never destroyed, and you never can tell how far it will go. I've told you on this channel how people have reached out to me, some just to even commend me that thank you for writing this, and some to even share their own challenges with me in tandem with things that I had written, how it has helped them, and even how asking me more questions about it. There are even senior colleagues who just mail me and they're just happy that I wrote whatever it is I wrote. I'm really grateful for these people. But what I'm saying is that when you write, you never can tell how far it will go or the impact it would have. So I'm always in support of writing. Please get a pen and paper and write. And what it does for you as someone that is coming back into law, someone that is trying to stay up to date, is that to write, you have to research. That's the trick. So you're learning more about the law by writing. So you have to research, because there's someone there that knows a lot about what you're writing about. You cannot afford to goof, because someone might or will call you out. So writing mandates you to do research. So you sit down, you read a lot, and then you put your own thoughts together. So you are developing yourself, and you're using one stone to kill 2 birds, because now you're learning, and then you are putting out, communicating what you have learned, in writing. And in the future, when people want to look at what is the test of an excellent lawyer, they will look at what you have written. Oh, if this is their thought process, then they must be really good. And it might even bring you clients, because in some instances you would put your contact and all of that, and you may not, but people will want to look for you. Some people just Google your name and they will look at, oh, who is this person? I need to talk to them, even if it's just to thank you, or to ask more questions, or to give you a brief, or to ask for your opinion on one thing or the other. Very important. So writing is a way to stay abreast of law practice. By the time you're writing, if you're writing about something that you've known for a long while, for instance, when you want to write and you start researching, then you learn the new updates that, oh, okay, I want to write about copyright law, for instance. Oh, there's a new copyright law. So I need to read that and look at the updates, so that I don't just write, and in ignorance. Very important. So write about law. Very important. That's number 4 and number 1 for this video. And then the fifth tip, which would be the second for this video, is join a law internship. Try to do a law internship. Very important. Most of the things that I know about intellectual property law today are things that I took out time to learn for myself, because it was not a course that was offered either as my LLB or BL level. So I had to learn it. I had to go online and read up a lot about intellectual property. You'd see that I've done videos on copyright, trademarks, related rights, the doctrine of fair use. I've talked about Tracy Chapman and Nicki Minaj's case. I've done so many videos on intellectual property. I've even talked about how you can maybe use intellectual property as collateral. These days, that trend, that new evolving trend. So so many things. I've had a guest come on this channel and talk to us at length, an Abuja lawyer who talked to us at length, a legal luminary about trademarks. So you find all these things on the video. I even have a section for intellectual property. There's a playlist. If you go to the playlist section of my channel, you'll find all the videos that I've done that are related to intellectual property. What I'm saying is I learned these things on my own. Then in 2020, I applied, to intern at the Intellectual Property Law Association of Nigeria's Institute in Abuja. So I interned with them. Internship was supposed to be for a few months, but we ended up spending about a year or over a year because of COVID and some other intervening factors. And I'm telling you that Mr. Folari Aluko and all his colleagues that are over there, they are doing an amazing work. You need to look at the quality of people they brought to teach us a lot of things about different aspects of intellectual property. You need to see the quality of people that they brought, to teach us different aspects of intellectual property. It was really, really good. They brought a lady that talked a lot about entertainment law, intellectual property in entertainment law. They brought Dr. Toby Moody at some point, who works with WIPO, and he taught us about traditional knowledge. It was a very, very eye-opening class. And then we had group projects. We talked about the Copyright Act in Nigeria. My group, we put our heads together, we put a slide together. I worked on the slide, so it also helps me to even get better with PowerPoint, and then we presented and all of that. So it was really interesting. It was really interesting. Many of these people are people I do not know before. In fact, I don't think there's anyone I knew before the internship, but we're able to interact very well and get along very well. It's a good thing. So if you hear that iPlan or some other institute is having an internship, please join. It's a way for you to learn. WIPO itself has different internships. I think I've shared one or two on my channel. I shared these things on the community tab, so please look out for my community posts as well. So join an institute or something, do an internship. And it might not even be that they have a standardized internship program, but you could offer yourself to intern with them, maybe as a graduate intern. That's if you don't have like a day job that will prevent you from doing that, because sometimes if you're the one volunteering, it might be unpaid. Even the one that I did with iPlan was unpaid, of course. So you can do an internship. Doing an internship is a way for you to learn more about law. So join yourself, maybe even to a law firm, if you like their practice, if their areas of specialization are something areas that you want to specialize in. You can offer yourself as a graduate intern. And if you're a younger person, it could even be between the period that you go to law school or you go for your service here, or when you have served and you're looking for a job. You can join a law firm, join an institute of law, even join a faculty of law. You can attach yourself to a faculty member as an intern, a personal intern. You can go to law institutes, law offices, legal aid, for instance, ministries of justices, mediation centers, multi-door courthouses. Ask to intern with them. It's a way for you to brush up your knowledge of the law, and for free in most instances. Some will be paid, some will be unpaid, but you'll be getting free knowledge. You'll be getting hands-on practical experience. That's a way for you to stay abreast of the law, and that's a way for you to be updated or reintegrated into law practice. And when you think that you've done enough, or that you're solid, or that you found your footing, you can just move on to other things. So doing an internship is a way for you to stay abreast of the law. And the last thing that I want to talk about is taking courses, taking law courses. For a lawyer, learning never ends. For a lawyer, learning never ends. So you have to keep learning and learning and learning. So take internships. Like for instance, prior to my internship with iPlan, I had already taken different courses on intellectual property. Yes, I took a course with ESQ Legal. I took two courses on WIPO. I even wrote an exam. I was graded. It was an intense exam. I remember it because it was a Sunday that I wrote the exam in 2020, and then I also got a certificate. So, and different courses on different aspects. I've taken courses on ADR, I've taken courses on negotiation. Some of these courses are like one-day seminars. Some of these courses are online courses that are protracted, for weeks, for days. I remember when I was serving a few years ago, I used to take my online courses on Future Learn. So in the morning when I'm going to work, when I'm in the bus, because of course I'll drop at the last bus stop, so I'll quickly read up, a few course material on my phone, and then when I'm coming back from work, I'll read up a few, also answer some questions and probably contribute to class discussions online. So that was the way for me to integrate it into my daily life, so that I did not lag behind and I was able to finish most of the courses to time, because some of those courses are timed too. You need to finish at a certain time if you want to get a certificate, and sometimes if the course is free too and you're getting a free certificate, it is also timed. So some of the courses are certificated, some of them are not certificated. Whichever the case, take courses about the area you want to understand more. So it's important. Online courses, offline courses, there are webinars, there are seminars that are being done on different aspects of law every day. Just look out for these things. If you are signed up to one or two organizations, they would usually mail you when there are opportunities. I took a lot of courses on Future Learn in my earlier days. You can check it up, futurelearn.com. So very important. And if there are courses that are paid also, if it's something within your budget, pay for it. No knowledge is wasted. I've said in the first video that most of this knowledge, when you acquire them, they go in as residual knowledge, and the day that you need them, they come out of you. You're surprised, you're wondering, how did I know this? You know it because you have learned it at some point. So take courses, be updated, and that is how to keep abreast of law practice. This is all I want to say for now. If I think about any other tips that have helped me or that might likely help you as you view these videos, I will do another video. But this is the second and concluding video for now on how to keep abreast and stay abreast of law practice. Whether you are trying to be reintegrated, or you're a newbie, or you're already practicing law and you just want to stay ahead of your game. Don't forget to subscribe. Please like the video if you love what you saw. I will see you in my very next video. Toodles.